record. Hi there, everyone. This is Ailish Philpott from Soul Healing Journey and the Academy for Soul Healing. And I am a master healer and teacher, and I work in the quantum realm or the quantum field. And today I wanted to introduce you to Jonathan Finn. And Jonathan is actually the first real deal Irish 13th Octave LaHoChi practitioner that I trained late last year or early this year. I can't remember.
Late last year, yeah.
That's it. I thought. With the way time is going these days, I never know when we are in the year anymore. So let me introduce you to Jonathan and say hi to everyone.
Absolutely. So thanks for having me on, first of all, Ailish. So my name is Jonathan Finn. I'm a clinical and spiritual hypnotist. And as Ailish said, I'm also a practitioner of 13th Octave LaHoChi.
And you're the first. Let me just bring focus to that you're the first Irish certified. So he's not the first Irish person who's done the training, but the first person who has certified. So tell me a little bit about your experience or how you found out about 13th Octave LaHoChi.
Absolutely. So I first found out about 13th Octave LaHoChi. It was probably early last year, or if not a little bit beforehand. As you know, another student of yours actually put me onto it, another woman that trained here in Ireland. So she did the training first, and I first heard about it from her, and it sounded very interesting. I'm not too sure where she came across it first. I believe it was a YouTube video or something like that. And it sounded really cool. So she ended up taking the training and just kind of told me about it and what it entailed and the different stuff in it. I found it fascinating. I thought, I'll have to do that myself. So kind of looked into it a bit, and as the universe does, there was a training coming up, as I was looking into it. And so kind of went from there, got in contact with yourself, and the rest is kind of history, as to say, went for it. And it just kind of fell together that way, But it was a brilliant training.
It was
really fun. And
how it all happened. It's like Carol was the first person from Ireland, and I'm actually from Ireland. I'm from North County Dublin, and I have always wanted to bring this modality, this energy to Ireland, and knew that it was going to do great service in Ireland, but I didn't know anyone in this field, so to speak, in Ireland anymore because it's so long since I left. And when Carol reached out to me, it's like, we've got an Irish person. And then the training that you did, we had 3 Irish people in that training.
That's right.
So it was very exciting.
Was indeed. Yeah, no, it was good fun now. And again, for myself personally, that was my first, I suppose, kind of hands-on energy healing modality, as you call it. I did the QHHT and some other stuff beforehand, but this was the first. So it was, very new for myself, but it was lovely, brilliant energy, and I've had great fun working with it, since the training, and people have been having great results and great experiences with it since then. So
that was part of what I was going to ask you is what have you witnessed as a practitioner? What have you experienced as a practitioner, and even having healing sessions, doing self-healing on yourself?
Absolutely. So again, as you mentioned there, the self-healing, that's before doing sessions with others, you kind of do that first.
Right.
As that's part of the curriculum. So I did that first, and again, I found that very powerful. And I think it's a great idea to do that first before working with others. To kind of be a clean slate, I suppose, before working with others. So that's brilliant. I found that very beneficial for myself overall. And then moving on to working with others, then lots of different, really just varied experiences and sessions. Some sessions, I know you've had people start off laughing hysterically, and then the laughter stops, and then they start crying. And then they balance out, and they're just totally relaxed for the session. and just lots of different stuff. I've had sessions, people say, that their guides have appeared in the room,
Right.
other beings have appeared in the room, um, different stuff. I had a woman, her hip started clicking. She'd had an issue with her right hip for a couple of years. She's been to different therapies and stuff with it, and she kind of got relief from it, temporarily, and then it'd come back in a couple of weeks. And she said after the session, yeah, it was gone, and she hasn't had it since, which is amazing. So those are just some examples off the top of my head of what I've witnessed, but it does seem to be different for so many people, which is amazing.
Right.
So it's really fun and great to work with.
So it's probably a good idea to tell people what 13th Octave LaHoChi is. So
absolutely.
I'll do that little bit. So it started.
Absolutely.
I know that's because it's always hard to explain what is 13th Octave LaHoChi. It's like, oh yeah. So how I describe it is, it's two individual energies, spiritual energies, which came to the planet or recame to the planet in the 1990s, so not that long ago. And then in the year 2000, both of these energies were combined. And the combination of those two energies it wasn't just that they were combined, it was a synergistic combining, which had it's like an implosion or explosion of energy of those two. So it kind of, it didn't even just square it, it multiplied it many times. So the 13th octave itself is joining with divine source. It's a means of joining with source without having to die and leave your body and go back home. So it's a way of going back home, so to speak, to source, to God, to the divine, while still living on planet Earth and doing your mission while you are firmly planted and grounded on the planet. LaHoChi is a modality which was reintroduced back to the planet in early 1990s. And it's, as Jonathan said, it's a hands-on healing, similar positions to the Reiki positions with some variations, but the energy is very different. So I know from students that have done Reiki before, it's like they say that the energy does feel very different. So it's just the next evolution of healing on the planet. And the piece that Jonathan said that I love is that everybody receives their piece of the energy. So the energy itself is huge, it's humongous. It's like no one person could ever receive everything that is on offer, so to speak, but each person has a mission on the planet, so they receive their piece according to their mission. So can you tell us anything that you experienced regarding your mission on the planet, Jonathan?
Tied into 13th octave LaHoChi, or just?
Yeah.
So again, as I said, I've had a couple of sessions of it myself, from say the training and then post training as well. And so I've both in the session and just outside of it as well, especially the days following. And that's actually something as well, just as an aside, that a lot of clients report after we do sessions. They say the session was amazing, but the days following is where lots of stuff come in for them. I thought it was important to mention that as well.
Thank you.
That lots of stuff does happen in the days following the session. But again, for myself, in sessions I've had and after the sessions, there have been different things coming in, different messages, especially in dream time, meditation, stuff like that. Different things coming in. I believe I told you about one I had. It was shortly after the training. Trying to recall exactly what it was now. But,
and I can't remember. You're asking the wrong person to remember.
Pair of us in it. Yeah, but there was something. It was definitely a strong visual. I felt it very strongly as well.
Maybe we'll just do another video later and you can just talk about that experience.
Maybe so. But yeah, I think it was definitely during meditating or either that or falling asleep. But it did come in very strongly. it was a visual. I've basically loved spreading around the planet.
Oh,
That was
nice.
everyone giving each other a piece of that, and it was spreading around the planet, and you could feel it kind of growing and growing and growing. Um, and it was very, very strong, and I felt it right throughout my body.
Yeah.
Um, and again, I kind of took that as reaffirmation of what I'm doing, and that I made the right choice taking the course as well.
Right.
Because this was only, I don't think it was 2 weeks after. It was fairly shortly after we finished it. So I kind of took that as an additional thumbs up from them.
From source.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was an interesting experience. There were other ones as well, but that's the kind
Yeah.
of biggest one that I found.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the information that was channeled into join those two separate energies is through the Council of Love. And the Council of Love's message is to spread love. So it's perfect that you said that. It reminded me to say that in our
Lovely.
chat. So, Jonathan, I know you do other modalities as well. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do a mixture of clinical hypnosis and spiritual hypnosis. So the clinical hypnosis is helping people with common issues, like quitting smoking, fears and phobias, breaking habits, anxieties, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Helping people to let that go using hypnosis. And then with the spiritual side of it, which people watching this would probably be more interested in, the fun stuff, quantum healing hypnosis technique, also known as QHHT, was developed by the late great Dolores Cannon. So I'm a level 2 practitioner of that. And that, in essence, is assisting people in connecting with their higher self. So that part of them that has all the answers,
Yeah.
the part of them capable of healing, which we're all capable of doing, and that's the main thing. We're already connected to that, but sometimes we don't always listen. So it's easier to connect to that in a QHHT session, and also experience past lives or different stuff like that. So that's QHHT in a nutshell, and then also the past life regression as well.
Cool.
Which again, what it says on the tin. So past life regression, again, going back to your soul's journey, back to previous incarnations, maybe to find answers, maybe to find why you're having certain issues in this lifetime, gain clarity on that and to resolve it and leave that in the past where it belongs. So that's the spiritual hypnosis side of it. But,
Awesome.
definitely fun stuff, and it does tie into 13th octave too,
Yeah.
in ways. The energy feels similar, I find, in certain ways. So it's very fun, very exciting, and feel blessed to be able to work with all these different modalities,
Yeah.
and to help people to help themselves using them.
Thank you, Jonathan. And I would like to add that Jonathan is an awesome practitioner.
Thank
And
you.
he is totally dedicated to his mission of service, which is to support the healing of humanity, and in particular Ireland at the moment. Who knows where to go? And I know this because I've known him for a little while, and I've seen how he operates, I've seen how he works, and I've also seen the amount of time and energy and effort he has put into not only his own healing, which is really, really important. People often forget that piece, but the time and energy that's needed to become either a level 2 QHHT practitioner. I've done QHHT training, so I can personally attest to that. And then the levels of requirement that are required to become a certified LaHoChi practitioner. That requires time and lining up people. Will you let me practice on you? And all that kind of stuff. So he's done it all, and in a very short period of time. So there are other people who are doing certification, but they haven't done it at the speed that you've done it. So Jonathan is awesome. If you're in his area and you want to reach him, how can they reach you, Jonathan?
So you can find my website is jonathanfinn.ie. So I'll spell that out because some people have different spellings. So that's JONATHANFINN.ie.
Perfect.
And on social media then, Jonathan Finn Hypnosis. You'll find me there also.
Thank you.
Lovely stuff.
And you can reach me if you want to chat with me as well at soulhealingjourney.com. SOUL, soulhealingjourney.com. All my upcoming events are on there, and my goal is to, I'm not going to say a specific date because I'm not sure when this video is going to go out, but my goal is to go to Ireland at least once a year to do some training there. So if you're intrigued, reach out, ask Jonathan, have a session, pay Jonathan for a session, and then come and do something. So thank you today, Jonathan. I'm very grateful for you agreeing to.
Not at all. It's a pleasure to be on. Thank you, Ailish.
My pleasure. And I know you and I will chat again soon, and hopefully some of you guys out there will chat soon too.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.